Ladies and gentlemen, the Guinness Book of World Records holder for darkest complexion in the world. That's who you're looking at. A thing of beauty. By the way, it is good when you follow someone on Facebook and Instagram who's really pretty and funny. But thanks, Smokey, for also sharing this, but not thinking I would use it for the beginning of POS. Give a round of applause. The darkest lady of all times. Take it, Bobby.
I thought the darkest lady of all times was my ex-girlfriend, but that was just her soul. So, welcome to POS. It's us. It's a late night. We didn't get a guest. It's going to be fun. Just cruise with the boys. Stream a bit. Shout out 717. Shout out 216.
What are those things? Are those area codes?
Yeah, that's Cleveland and Harrisburg.
Cleveland?
Yeah,
we're killing it in Cleveland?
I got peeps out in Cleveland. Hopefully we're not killing it because my peeps are my family and we don't want them watching this.
You got peeps all over, Bobby. You do. You got peeps. Like when I share a picture of the poster of us performing in Saratoga Springs, people write the rise of the donkey. And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh, that means Bobby.
Yeah, at least they're on our side.
Yeah, they're there. Some are.
Yeah.
Some are on our side. Some are against us, I think.
Some are against us. But if you don't have enemies, are you really doing anything?
Well, like they say, haters going to hate.
That's my girl, T Swift. You leave her alone.
Who insulted her? I just quoted her.
I'm just letting you know.
First of all, how dare you? I guess you don't follow me on Facebook because I wrote something beyond prominent about that. I said, I don't talk about issues. You can talk about abortion. You can talk about race. You can talk about religion. And I will not get involved because you're entitled to your opinion. But if you fucking talk shit about T Swizzle after I went through 2 breakups while working at a retail store and the soundtrack to my life was that girl singing, you better fucking shut your mouth because we're not out of the woods. That's what I wrote.
That's just, yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't get the hate.
She's great.
Her. Yeah, and then people will be like, oh, she's not real country. I like Luke Combs. And it's like, Luke Combs is just the male version of Taylor Swift. All he does is sing songs about getting fucked up because he has a broken heart.
I am a big fan of Luke Combs.
Me too.
And I think, but I'm going to say, not even close.
No.
Luke Combs is nowhere near I don't look at her as country. She's a singer-songwriter she's a James Taylor-esque, but with more emotion.
Okay.
No, modern day. Why not? Modern day. He was more poetic in the way he wrote about heartbreak than Luke Combs is, in the same way that Taylor Swift. If you really look at the songs and how they wrote things, Fire and Rain, and take any of her songs, it's the same kind of fucking shit. It really is.
In the same way that, like, hip-hop and Shakespeare are the same thing. Like, yes, they're rhyming and they're telling a story, but one's, like, art. You know?
You don't think Taylor Swift's art?
I don't think she's quite the lyricist of James Taylor.
If you break down the library of songs, you're actually going to see, and not just going off hits, more songs that connect, because James Taylor kind of stayed in the same kind of one arrow thing. You see a whole life of this girl. She's going to have a Carole King like Broadway thing when she's done.
Maybe breadth of library, but I don't know if any of her songs are close to Fire and Rain. I
think they are. I even think that one I just quoted down, Out of the Woods, is like fucking long and dramatic and powerful. There's a lot in those. I'm telling you, I grew up on James Taylor. I'm a huge fan of him. I think she's as good. Take the name Taylor, James Taylor Swift. If you combine them, is the greatest singer-songwriter of all time.
I'd be the most miserable person to deal with.
Yeah, but you know what? You want to be with them through. If it was like a dark, stormy night and the internet went out and you just need someone to fucking sing and make you cry and feel good and forget about the power being out, yeah, you need those 2 motherfuckers on guitar.
I had an incident in the past, shall we say, 14 days, where I came into contact with a person who was just nuts. Like, certifiably nuts.
Like, do they know they're nuts? Or are they kind of crazy where they have no idea?
Probably they know. Okay. I think they may also think that we're all the nuts one, too. Like, they're that level of crazy. But how just viscerally attracted I was to this human being made me analyze a lot about my life. Like, it wasn't physical. It wasn't that this person was smart or creative or said anything witty. It was just purely the craziness that I found so attractive. And I think the person we're creating might be that same level of crazy with James Taylor Swift.
Right. Because the not knowing of the crazy, and just, even though you know it's crazy, the chances they take, the freedom they kind of show is attractive until you're in it.
Yeah.
And once you're in it, you realize it's not freedom. They are trapped, and that's the reason why they're not there. And then once you're in, it's too late. That passion they have is a passion that you think can be contagious or like fun to be around, but it really is consuming them because it's not passion. It's a way of not express. That's the way they express themselves. It's the bait they have to catch fish, but they have no idea what to do with the fish.
Yeah, and that carefree happiness, like that lack of judgment they show the world, it's the exact opposite for you. You get hyper-focused on every detail, every move, every breath you take is analyzed. Anyway, this is a fun topic to start on. My dick's attracted to crazy women. Taylor Swift.
I'm not even saying just women. There are comedians. There are people I've followed on, that I've met like at comics, people like that I thought were great at first, and they also have that thing that person goes on stage and just takes chances, and you're like, I like them, but then you get to know them, and you're like, oh, you're insane. Like you're insane, and this is the only place that's allowed you to be that, but now you're being cheered on for being insane. Like we're recording this late. I just came back from doing, there was a comedy school where I was helping host the comedy school's graduation show type thing. There is a woman on there that I kind of talked about before that has a little bit of brain damage, but she just reads some cue cards all about sucking cock. And it's like funny because she has the card and she has a little bit of brain damage, and she talks in detail about this.
You're like, people with brain damage aren't allowed to suck cock.
I guess they're not only allowed to, but they're fucking tremendous at it, according to her like writing. But she was going on about, and people are laughing, going, "This is brilliant." And I'm like, "It's not brilliant. It's scary." Because if you just found these cue cards, and didn't know what was going on, like I always said this, but like Eli Roth, if you just found Saw.
Yeah.
Before he put it out there, the fact that once they create, even like, okay, we're all like Stranger Things, amazing to be able to go back and tie in all the 80s to this upside down world. And when you create a universe that people buy into and it works with Lord of the Rings, things of that nature, with Harry Potter, when we buy into this universe that someone creates, it's amazing. Star Wars. But if it doesn't work, you're just a person who created a universe, and that's insane. You wasted all this time. So yes, it does work. And I hate to say it's a waste of time, because no time is wasted if you're enjoying yourself. But that person's either insane or a genius. There's no in between. Sam Kinison, if he didn't get injured and found and he was just on the screen about and all that shit. Jim Carrey being found as a vessel to be able to do all these things is great, but he's also a lunatic. He should be a homeless person outside of a subway screaming at people, but he's a millionaire.
Yeah, the line between genius and crazy is so thin.
Because you have to take chances to be both.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Kanye is a perfect example. Some of the times he's brilliant. Some of the times he might be a little nuts. I've never thought he was nuts personally. I think he has a plan to everything he's doing, but some people would say.
Well, see, okay, I like this conversation. Why can't you be nuts and have a plan?
I think people...
You don't have to be out of control to be nuts.
No, that's very fair. I think it was specifically to Kanye, because people are like, oh, he's just being bipolar right now. He's just manic. I think everything he does is very calculated, like the opposite of manic that people accuse him of being.
Sociopath is calculated.
Yeah, I don't think that's nuts.
It's depending on what you do with it.
Yeah, that's true.
To believe that you are chosen to change the world is a nice thing to say, but insanity at its finest. Not one created person who was chosen by anyone to lead or do these things. That like
Messiah complex thing. Like,
yes,
I have a gift and I need to get it out there.
Not only that I am changing the world. You're having influence on it. And yes, you may be named in history someday as this or that, whatever, but that's you just achieved well out of a group. That's all it really was. You took chances because most people wouldn't. So that is crazy just by itself. Somebody who's the person that steps forward in a crowd of afraid people is looked at as a leader, but at the beginning, before they do that, they're like, he's nuts. You know what I mean? Why would you even be that? Even someone just to lead. You know what I mean? Like if 100 people are in a bank being held hostage by 2 people with guns, logically you'd go, there's 100 of us. Yes, some of us will get hurt, but we can take them out. But fear does that. But that one guy who rushes them, if he dies, you're a fucking idiot. If he beats them, you're a hero and a genius. So it's those choices that we choose. They're both in that scenario. Kanye is both. I have this talent, but he's telling himself in this selfishness that I am this talent. And his mother was this huge cheerleader to the point of enabling, to like, you are everything. The world needs to hear you. And he ignored anyone telling him differently, which is great because it worked out. But there are many people who've tried to rap and act and do comedy. We know them that are just delusional and have the same belief and the same, just didn't get the opportunities or the doors open or didn't bother or pester the right people. Most crazy people find a way to pester the right people to the point where usually what happens, because what happens is the person goes, fine, go ahead. Just stop asking me.
I don't know if it's most people, most crazy people. I think it's a rare few. Like, just looking at the streets of New York, like, most crazy people are out there.
No, most crazy people that accomplish.
Okay. I'm sorry. I missed. Yeah, okay.
Most of our crazy accomplished people, like when people are like, when a Hitler happens, that is people going, well, I don't want to be in charge. He wants to be in charge. I don't want to be in charge. He's good at talking to people. He fires them up. Just let him do it. We'll run him behind the scenes. I don't care. And then all of a sudden it's like he's whooping him into a frenzy. And then people are like, well, I don't want to be against that. Who wants to be against that? I'm going to cheer for that. We shouldn't. It's kind of nuts, but he's not really going to do that. Oh my God, he's doing that. And he's in charge of this. It's the same thing with like a musician. It's like, it believes that he's a higher power. Like for a Michael Jackson to happen, that's genius, but also a sick pervert. But we allowed it because he also had genius.
What if instead of Taylor Swift, it was Taylor Slow? She wears short skirts, I wear helmet, feet are the few, then I Velcro my sneakers.
I want a milkshake, shake. Shake the baby. Taylor Slow. I like that. But yeah, I think sometimes, even like at smaller levels, let's just take Compound Media.
Let's not. Let's take literally anything else. Let's take Gas Digital. I just don't want to talk about Compound. I'm so tired of everybody.
I know, but I don't know anyone.
Let's do ESPN.
I don't. Can I just
let's do NBA teams.
It's not going to be NBA teams. That's not going to help.
Let's do the 1982 Boston Celtics.
You were fine with Hitler.
Yeah, because everybody and their brother isn't talking about Hitler right now.
All right. So Hitler's brother. Remember when they had Hitler and Anthony? I think there was. That'd be great if Hitler once was a morning shot. And then he thought he'd have this big following on YouTube. And it's like my friend Monfrere Carl Ruiz.
I don't know. Like, if he had a radio show and maybe he got what he needed there, he wouldn't have, like, taken over the country. You know? Like, maybe that would have been the one thing he needed.
Okay, here's my example. Ready? Joe Rogan.
Okay, that's a great example.
Joe Rogan was literally a person that had a lot of aspirations, but crazy ones. If you combine what he loves, physicality, testosterone, laughter, joy, drugs, it's insane that he was able to. And think about it. When he first started off, they were like, you can do stand-up because we can't stop you from doing that. You can sign up for jiu-jitsu. We can't stop you from doing that. But then he starts to have interest to the point where we look at it now and you go, look at this man who put in hard work and determination to choose every path he wanted. But when you hear the stories, it's like he wouldn't stop being around Dana White. He wouldn't stop being around UFC. He was obsessed. He was almost like a Rain Man of it. Same thing with comedy. He wasn't known as the funniest comic, but he was a good-looking guy that was willing to do anything. Literally, I will be on before reality shows were big. Yeah, I'll be on a show where I make people eat bugs. That has nothing to do with anything he wanted to do, but it put him out there for this need. And then he's like, oh, I did that. Can I search for Bigfoot? And they're like, well, everything else is working. I guess you can. That didn't work. No one really watched that thing, but they didn't care. And he just kept yelling out crazier shit. And then to the point where he literally is now he's looking as a hero, but he was the asshole at open mic who thought everyone was stealing his bits. Now, yes, that guy was stealing people's bits, but he was the lunatic who was trying to be the comedy police and call everyone out. That worked out now. But he was banned from the one place that was giving him opportunities, the Comedy Store, for a while. He took that choice, and everyone says now hero, but at the time crazy, because everyone else would have rather sat back and said, just let him steal it, keep your spots. You know what I mean? Why would you do this kind of shit? And that's kind of insane that he would do that, and then start doing a podcast when no one was doing a podcast and yelling out about those things. But then now it worked out to the greatest show ever. But everything he ever did was like only a lunatic would try that.
Yeah,
Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I do think there's something very powerful about like somebody who just is like, I'm going to do this or die trying. And I don't mean that in the like sense of people saying like,
I mean not in the actual dying sense.
Yeah. No, I mean in the actual dying sense. Like literally somebody who's at a point in their life and is like, this is the only thing I like. So I'm either going to be successful at it or I'm going to kill myself in the process. Like, no metaphor there. Like, I'll do what it takes because otherwise life is not worth living. And you do find some of those people who make it and they're the great success stories like Rogan that you hear about. And then there's some guys who it doesn't work out for. And they're the guys who hit like 55 and are like, fuck, what have I done with my life? You know what I mean? I've wasted all this time. I haven't done anything. And I think those are the real bitter people you see.
Then they record a special during the day at the Grizzly Pear.
I think that might have been more other things we were talking about earlier.
By the way, and I'm not going to say it anymore. My only example was going to be how a certain person kept getting told no, even when they were hitting high levels and persevering. And almost that made them stronger and better each time because they kept getting kicked off one radio station to another radio station, to a more powerful radio station, to satellite radio, to then building their own media. That was my example of what we were going to talk about. Nothing bad.
Just trying to steer clear.
But it was going to be one of those, everyone looks at that saying, that's insane. You keep burying yourself.
But
it kept working out.
Kind of the visionary thing. Yeah. Again, though, how many guys did that same thing and it just didn't work out for?
Because you have to be able to, the difference is,
yeah.
Not only back it up, you can bet a lot of them could back it up. They also couldn't build a following. You have to be a crazy person. That Anthony Cumia could have a cult if he wanted to.
Some people would say he does.
Right, but a good cult, good people that work hard that just believe in his humor. He wouldn't, but what's the difference between getting someone to follow you like that? What's the difference between like what Cumtown did and David Koresh did?
Who's David Koresh?
Waco, Texas.
How did we get to this? Comparing Cumtown to Waco, Texas.
Because
I gotta retrace these steps and go see the process.
Well, no, because Cumtown, it was okay. So every other ranking on, if you look at Patreon's top 10 rankings of like highest grossing income,
yeah,
out of the top 10, 9 of them are quote unquote famous people.
Really?
Yes, and Cumtown is 3. One guy, not even a comedian, and 2 people that are funny. Don't get me wrong, but not household names, not national touring comic. They are now afterwards, but at the time and what they built were just funny. And just people just got so on board for them being this underdog, this thing you shouldn't listen to, this thing that isn't scripted, this thing that shouldn't make sense, to people just paying so much money to hear a thing that it wasn't even like putting in the effort. They were literally saying, give us money. It's ridiculous that you are. You shouldn't be. And they were in the top 8 grossing of all Patreons. And David Koresh, what do you think that Jesus speaks to you? You think we should move into this compound? You think we should fight Janet Reno and the rest of the country? This is what we should do? Yeah. Well, why would we listen to you? Well, why wouldn't you? It's kind of that same, you can be likable and unlikable at the same time and get people to buy in.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
Have to have that crazy plus passion.
I think the difference is the call to action. Like, I think
I'd rather join a cult than
boys
spend that much money every month on Patreon.
Just want you to join Patreon. The
But
cult wants you to die for.
One of the levels was like Hitler. Like you have to say, I believe in Hitler or whatever. By the way, if you listen to Come Down with Stav Gone,
the first one.
I love Nick more, but they need Stav. The Adam Friedland show I can't do.
I disagree. I actually kind of enjoyed it without all the laughing, ruining half the bits. I don't know.
But okay, you listen to the first one. This one, Nick is really trying to carry weight, and it's
tough.
Adam's talking over him. Instead of balancing. And that's been the tough part. I thought he'd sit back more, but he's talking over Nick. It's like, you have to let Nick shine, especially if he's going to do this fake role of producer and talk less.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all
when
listening
he talks,
for Nick.
You got to let it happen.
You've got that. You can't try to match humor with him. That was the genius of Stav. Stav did yes ands.
Yeah.
Stav didn't try to match. He knew that Nick was going to nail this thing. They would let Nick go down this character or this thought process or this thing, and then Stav would add to it and then sing a song about penises. That's all we needed. The genius of Stav was how to be the best Ed McMahon there was.
Yeah, he was a good Ed McMahon. That's definitely.
Yeah. He definitely didn't try to be He didn't try to be the Brian Dillman to the Ryan Seacrest. You know what I mean? He didn't try to be season 1 of America's Got Talent or American Idol and be like, no, we're equal. Then the next season, like, get out of here. You're not equal.
No.
You know what I mean?
He didn't.
And Adam's just like, bringing in. Now that he's got to be thrown into that, it doesn't work. But whatever. I'm sure that's for like 4 people we're talking. I'm only going to say the words Compound Media one more time, because if you are a follower of Compound Media, you will know these people. As I'm sharing this here, you are seeing them now, correct?
Yep.
You know these people because they have appeared on the Anthony Cumia show, and I think some other shows on Compound Media as well, correct?
I have no idea.
You know they were on there, right?
They were on Tax. I don't know about any of the other shows.
I thought she might have been on In Hot Water once.
Maybe.
I could be wrong.
Probably Wet Spot.
Yeah.
That's where they put people like that who are usually very good and interesting on.
Yeah, and it would make sense because I don't know if she does porn, but she's OnlyFans. I know that.
Yeah, no, I don't think she does real porn.
But the story here, if you're ready for our story, Bobby, child star Mason Reese, for those who don't know, not the woman, dumped by model after sex drive confessions. Mason Reese has been dumped by his much younger girlfriend just days after he cruelly claimed she was not the best lover he ever had.
My man.
Dude, I mean, my God. He looks like if Mask, what's his name? Rocky Dennis from Mask and Pete Rose had a baby. That is that look. Okay. Reese, a 57-year-old former child star who shot to fame after starring in a series of popular commercials in the 70s, began dating OnlyFans model Sarah Russi, 29, back in 2019. But Russi ended the relationship last week after Reese made the rude remark about her bedroom skills in an episode of the web TV series Love Don't Judge. Now, I'm not familiar with the TV show Love Don't Judge, but I'm assuming it's hosted by a sassy black woman. It sounds, that's what right?
Yeah, that could be one. It also could
judge.
Be like,
it don't sound
web
like
series for TLC.
Because you think if it was done by a white judge, it'd be called Love Doesn't Judge. Right? If Love Don't Judge, that sounds like a Medea movie.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry's Love Don't Judge. It's been messy, Russi admitted after the split in an interview with Fernal on Wednesday. He said mean things to me, and I've said mean things to him, but our relationship sadly just became like roommates. I'm guessing it was always kind of like roommates. Like roommates that once in a while fuck, but I don't know. I I can't understand. But
according to her, their backstory is she was dating one of his friends, found out he was richer, and then like started texting him. And it's like, good for Mason Reese that he was like, "Fuck you, bitch. You're not the best I've ever had."
Which is, by the way, you think that other lady's like, "Don't say it's me."
I don't. I think it's gonna be whatever producer got him that fucking commercial. I've been chasing that dragon ever since.
So you think the best lover he ever had was an adult that molested him?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Nice.
He's been chasing that dragon ever since.
Dragging these recent nuts. The couple's 3-year romance was the subject of much media attention, not only because of their age difference, but also their striking height difference. Well, not only that, it's also because he looks like he's got all this, right?
Yeah, also, the only thing that rivals her literal whoredom is her attention whoredom.
Yes.
That helps.
Which, by the way, and I'm not going to slut shame. Go for what you want to go for. If this is the life she wants to live, and this guy's allowing her to do it, that's his fucking fault. If she says, we all think love is different things. If she believes love is finding someone who can financially take care of me, and then I use my looks to get these things I want, go for it. Like, because she wasn't even, there must be something there, because it's not like he's rich and famous. He just has more commercial money. There are famous real actors right now that can do better for her. But I guess that thought is like, well, I won't have to deal with a lot.
And
because this guy.
Yeah. And I think he's, unlike some of these situations, he knows what the deal is. Does that make sense? Like, he's more of a Hugh Hefner than he is somebody being taken advantage of.
Oh, he absolutely has to know.
Yeah, he knows what the deal is, and he's enjoying it. That's why.
Because she is very pretty, and he is beyond ugly. He's no Finn Wolfhard.
That is a good picture of him that you have. That you did not find an ugly picture of him. Like, you found probably the best picture of him since he was in that fucking commercial.
A lot of the pictures was when she had pink hair, and I kind of wanted to show her looking like a person and not an anime character. So that's kind of what I'm with it.
No, I wasn't criticizing. I was pointing it out in case if you don't know who this person is and you're watching this for the first time. Like, okay, maybe he cleans up well. No, that isn't the guy who played Rudy with a melted face. It's actually him.
That isn't Kathy Bates if she got hit with all this stuff in Misery.
Dad, I want to play football for Notre Dame too.
All quasi no moto. But that's him.
Frodo, throw the wing.
He's 4'10" and also uses a mobility scooter on a full-time basis. And said that she's not the best he ever had in bed. Dude, shots fired by him. She probably is the best he's ever had in bed, but that's cool that he said it. Russi has been seen riding the vehicle with her much older beau on multiple occasions, sparking accusations of gold digging. By the way, if you're on a guy's mobility scooter, it's not really gold. It might be copper digging. I wouldn't call it gold
digging. Copper pipe stripping, more like it.
In the episode of Love Don't Judge, which was released to YouTube last week, Reese is asked whether Russi is the best lover he's ever had. Okay, well, no, okay, now we're changing everything. So in this show, on a reality YouTube show, he was asked a question where he's been doing reality shows and knows they want juicy answers.
She's the one who probably said, if we don't get some attention off of this, I'm leaving you. And he was like, all right, I'll say something.
Right. I'm not the best I've ever been. Let's just say I'm not the best I've ever been. Let's just say that. Reese coyly responded, using self-deprecation to escape the question. Russi, who was sitting next to her partner, looked shocked and replied, "You said I was." Wait, I'm confused by the quote. I'm not the best I've ever been.
Go back one more sentence. I think they did that thing where they split a quote or they left a part out.
Right. So it says in the episode of Love Don't Judge, which was released on YouTube last week, Reese is asked whether Russi is the best lover he's ever had. I'm not the best I've ever been. So I guess he's kind of saying, well, she can't be the best because I'm not doing my best.
That makes sense. Okay. I get it now. Yeah.
So to me, it doesn't even sound like a huge insult. She kind of I think she took it more like, well, I'm not doing my best, so how can anyone else be my best? I'm literally on a mobility. How am I going to be my best? Let's just say that. Russi, who was sitting next to her partner, looked shocked and replied, "You said I was." he said, I don't recall saying that. Reese sat back. Okay. That part with an awkward argument ensuing on screen. Yeah, but once again, on screen. By the way, for someone to think like he was in an accident and he was in kid commercials and he was attractive, he had that same haircut in kid commercials and he wasn't good looking. He was so fucking weird looking, it worked in commercials.
He was basically the Beans of the 70s, right? That dude from Even Stevens?
Yeah.
He was basically that. They were just like, oh, this is a weird freak. Look at him.
Like he even had, the ABC gave him a pilot called Mason. It didn't work out, but he had his own show.
I wish they gave him the pilot who didn't learn how to land and flew a plane into 9/11 towers.
Russi has a raunchy OnlyFans account where she shares sultry snaps and videos with her paying subscribers. So they said raunchy. I went through this and there's a picture of her holding, I don't know what she's got in her hands, but she's got like the smallest bikini I've ever seen on, and then like a really bad pink hair, like with like you could see the black roots through it. It doesn't look hot. It looks like she got rejected from a Quiet Riot video. Like, to be fair, like, and I'm not saying she's pretty, but I'm just saying this picture is not flattering. It's just kind of whorish. There's another one where she's literally in a restaurant with him, but she's got a thong on and then like a regular top in a restaurant. I'm like, I don't know. While the cringe-inducing conversation may have been the catalyst for the couple's split, they've spoken about their mismatched libidos in the past. In 2019, Reese admitted that he was often hornier than younger Russi, who couldn't keep up with his insatiable appetite. Well, okay, easy. Of course he's hornier than her. He gets to look at her. She has to look at him. You can't, that's not fair. You can, and I've talked about this before, you can definitely be like, okay, I was at therapy today and this conversation came up about like, I fall in love with connections. I'm not someone who's sexually driven. I don't just look at someone like, I gotta fuck them. But when I fall for someone and I have a real connection, then I want them. I'm more attracted to the connection. But at the same time, if I'm connected to a creature from the Black Lagoon, I'm still not going to be horny. So he has a connection with her and cares about her, and she's hot, especially compared to what he's dealing with. But she's an attractive girl, right? Am I wrong in that? She's an attractive girl.
The issue with her is they live in Pittsburgh. So in Pittsburgh, yeah, she's a very attractive girl.
But in Pittsburgh, he's a very attractive girl.
Yeah, the sheep are scared. I don't think the level of cuntiness is merited by the looks in her. I've met her a couple of times. I was actually there the day that they were on Compound, and I don't know if you saw this episode, but Ian Fidance, 5 minutes into the episode, just had enough of her shit and her like cucking Mason and treating him like shit, and just called her what it was. It's like, let's just be honest, you're a whore. He's basically paying you to have arm candy around, and like I think that's what you're dealing with here.
Okay, but to be fair, on every other thing they'd been on, where it wasn't like a thing with comedians that are quick and vicious like that, and having Kumi on, their characters were he's this little thing, and then she's the one who gives him the business. So she was playing the role.
Oh, that's
that she's been told to play.
I didn't think about that either.
You know what I mean? Like, even if she's not really in her mind saying this isn't who I am, it's been applauded to be this way and been given shows and attention. So why wouldn't she think that's what people want? He's supposed to be happy just to be in her presence. That's the sell of them. He was this little actor guy that's ugly, but he gets this hot, pretty girl. So it's like you feel bad for him, but you root for her because in the back of your mind, if you're a pretty girl, you're like, she cares more about than just looks. She loves him for him and money, because if he was poor, he would. So then when you show up at a show like that where a guy's like, fuck you, you're a whore, she's kind of like, well, yeah, kind of, but that's like the thing. But then she's not quick enough to battle it back. She's never had to have. She's a pretty girl who does this shit. No one fights her. They just let her go. They just encourage. Once again, crazy talk we talked about earlier. He's been encouraged to keep doing his things because no one says don't do that. They just go, let her go because I don't want to deal with it.
Who is she the Kmart version of? Like, what was that famous woman? Remember she died, but she was like a real famous gold digger.
Anna Nicole Smith?
Yeah. The thing about Anna Nicole is she was always like, no, I am in love with this guy. Like, she was super supportive of the guy. And maybe that's what led her to a drug overdose. Maybe the key is just actually like calling it what it is. Maybe I'm the asshole.
In her prime, Anna Nicole Smith is one of the fucking most beautiful women fucking.
Yeah, that's
ever.
what I'm saying. But like Anna Nicole's whole thing with what's his name, that she was.
I forget his name, but he's a rich billionaire guy.
But like, if you saw any of the interviews with her, she wasn't. She was like, "No, we're actually in love. Like there is a connection here." She wasn't what Sarah Russi does of ball busting her old husband. It wasn't like, "Oh, you're just lucky to be with me." Like she almost played the role of a trophy wife. Whereas I feel like
you might want to go read the stories that came out when all the deaths happened and stuff.
Oh shit, really?
That was all there. It just wasn't covered as much. But yeah,
right. But we're talking about the persona they played on air that you just said. Like she's been given this role to be like, oh
no, but I'm saying Anna Nicole Smith also had that.
Oh really?
Yeah, she was the only one that could like talk back to this billionaire.
But that's
and like even the family,
reality,
his family
right?
was like, "Who is this bitch to tell you about decision making? You've grown this empire, and now because she has big tits, she can tell you what to do."
Big tits do make the world go round.
But that's why this girl's more powerful. No tits.
Ooh.
But if you said Kmart version, he's also the Kmart version of a billionaire.
Yeah, he's a thousandaire.
He's got commercial money from the 70s. Yeah.
He's a 10,000aire.
I do have I do have a bit of a higher sex drive. I've always been a highly driven sexual guy. Yeah, because you're a little fucking creep. I know I don't look like it, but I am. Well, you don't have to look like you have a sex drive. That doesn't make any sense. There's not a look to that. You could not look like you're having sex. Like you can have a look like you're not, people don't want to fuck you. But yeah, there's a lot of people that have sex drives and are ugly, and that's why they end up becoming incels or killing people. It's because they can't have sex. Or they end up getting hookers and then working at a Stop and Shop. NRT shout out.
Took me a second to get that because I forgot it was a Stop and Shop, but that was fucking.
Or whichever store. Fucking
no. I just didn't remember.
Right. I know I don't look like it, but I am. The pint-sized star declared in an interview, "We have sex an average of twice a week." Reese said, "I might be happier 3 times a week, but twice is compromise." Because she's like, "Yeah, dude, I need at least 5 days off."
Wow.
Because well, think about it. He's 4'10", and she's not tall, but she's like what, 5'4", 5'5". She towers over him. Maybe heels, whatever. Even if she's 5'3", I've seen the pictures. She towers. She's leaning right now. Well, he's on the scooter, whatever. But whatever. But they're not having sex any other way but missionary. Just because there's a size difference. How do they do doggy? There's no way. Just because of height.
Do you think it's like when they have a paraplegic and they use like a machine to line it up, almost like a cow, and then physically do the motion?
I think it's a lot like that.
Do you think
I think his scooter works like that.
Do you think he has enough money to do that?
I think that you can get funding for anything.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
Hey, did you see how well I sold those beans? Watch me sell this. Fuck robot.
Beans, fuck robot. But like there's 2 ways they're having sex, where she's laying down having to stare at him sweating and pumping at her, or she's got to ride him. Either way, it's eye contact unless she's doing reverse cow. So like that's got to be twice a week is too much. Like if she's just getting plowed from behind, 4 days a week is fine. But you can't line that up. It's a reverse belt buckle. It doesn't work. And he's got a little belly. Science wouldn't allow that to happen. And he probably likes his dick sucking. She's got to play with. You think he looks weird? His balls have to look insane. Unless his balls are the attractive part of it.
I think his balls probably just look like mini versions of his face.
Yeah. By the way, every time you say this, I keep finding more pictures like while I'm scrolling through. And Bobby was under exaggerating. This is the hottest photo. This makes him look like young Paul McCartney compared to the other pictures of Mason Reed. Like, it's insane. By the way, he does, if you look at him, he does look like many people that tried to be prime minister. You know, he has that he has Artie Lang nose, but when Artie Lang had a nose. It's a weird, he has Artie Lang looks. When Artie Lang would date attractive people, this is what it looked like.
Oh, that is a good point. The difference is I think Artie Lang had a personality.
This guy might.
Apparently he does. Yeah, maybe I'm judging him wrong. Bitch, you ain't the best I ever had.
I mean, think about it. Like if you were explaining her as she's just the cunt, for it to be on a reality show, so one of them has to be the one that you're appealing to. And I've never watched their shows, but it must be him.
Yeah, that is.
He must be the one you root for.
That would make sense, right? Like you're not just rooting for this girl who's, I don't know.
Maybe you're saying lower level. She's a Tardashian. That is our term.
That is good. That is good.
Yeah. In the
Hang
same
on,
interview.
Real quick.
Good.
Subscribe if you want a real bad girl experience. Public nudity. Kink. 1 to 3 exclusive photos and clips daily. Daily DMs. Girl/girl. Custom orders. With same-day turnaround. Video chats. Special perks for subscribers. Live cum shows once a month. No managers. I run my own page. Talk to me one-on-one in my DMs. And then I Googled leaked OnlyFans clips.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The only one that really came out was I didn't have any of... All of my vibrators are recharging, so I had to use the faucet the old-fashioned way. I don't know if Mason Reese had the higher sex drive. I think she was just trying to find anything other than him to fuck.
Right. Well, what, did you find anything of her naked?
I'm sure it's out there.
Well, because right the second you said I have no manager, I'm like, yeah, she's not. She also doesn't have someone like protecting the pictures.
That's true.
All you gotta put is whatever her name is, I forget it, and leaked Reddit.
Oh yeah. No, there's a bunch.
Yeah. Is it worth the pain this man's going through?
No. He was in Hollywood. He could just fuck a 12-year-old boy if he wanted the same experience.
Well, you know what? Then I am happy he's doing what he's doing.
Me too.
I would be happier that he fucks a 29-year-old vapid woman. Well, this woman, she's got pink hair with her. This is not OnlyFans. This is just in the picture with just her butt. She has a nice butt. Boy, who's this guy she's with? She's sitting on some tattooed guy's lap while he's playing with her panties.
I was trying to share a screen, but you didn't see it.
No, I did. I looked quickly and I saw it quickly.
No, I meant the audience.
Oh, why didn't they see it?
Because it didn't work. Now it is, though.
Oh.
I'm just showing them. That's not a bad picture. But again, no real tits, too much hair. All fake.
Wait, are you a tits guy?
No. Just
I don't care about tits.
Like, if you're going to say you're the best basketball player of all time, you don't have to have 100% free throw percentage. You just should have some. Like, if what you're selling is sex, you should bring some element of sex to the table.
Oh, I think she's sexy. I do.
She's skinny. She's pretty. I don't know if I'd say sexy, though.
Well, we've talked about this.
Oh, yeah. We kind of have differences of...
No, she's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean... Yeah.
And the first thought I get, like normal with my whole life, is I feel bad that this guy's being mean to her. And that's not what's supposed to be out there, but that's where I go. And then I'm like, I can help. And 29. I'm 47.
She could be your daughter with no bad decisions.
No. She'd be 9 years older than my daughter. How dare
No, I'm saying like
I know, I'm kidding.
With that age gap.
There's more than an age gap in that girl. Hey-oh.
Yeah.
Russi, whose raunchy OnlyFans account boasts tens of thousands of followers. Really? That many? I'm shocked. I'm not saying I'm shocked because of that. I just don't know. I don't know she's popular. And I don't know that show when they were on, but I've never, besides her being on Kumi, I never heard of her.
Yeah, she did like all that circuit too. She did Jim and Sam. She's done stuff on Gas. But
right, but she's just a guest on that, talk about this one thing. She just ran through that. I don't know. Like, I'll hear about TLC people and things like that. I've never heard of her. Like, yeah. Where was their show? Was it on TLC?
I didn't watch their show. I will say
I just don't know.
I do think there are like two types, right? So there's like the super popular chicks that are like just ridiculously hot that everybody wants to see. Like the former Disney star, what's her name? You know who I'm talking about. She was on Boy Meets World. Now she's a porn star.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't forget her name.
Her, for example, like she's super famous. Then there are girls that are like super tangible in the sense that they'll actually talk to you. You can be like, hey, send me this clip, and they'll do it in, 6 hours. And I think that's where she shines. Like, she actually engages these fucks.
All right. Well, now I'm on your side, Bobby. I just read the last 2 paragraphs, and now I'm not a fan of her. If you can look up, just Google these words. It's one word, the word 3, and then the number 6, all is one thing. So THREE 6, and then after that, put her name. So they put her name after that. Sarah Russi after 3-6. And if you can share that for everyone. Is there a picture of a guy and a girl together with one pink hair and one green?
Nope. Not yet.
Did you find 3-6, the guy?
I think I did. Hang on one second.
Anyway, as you're looking for that, the model also revealed that she already started seeing someone. Another influencer who goes by the name 3-6. Yes, there they are together. We have a lot in common. Russi cooed of her new beau. I had to force Mason to do videos, but 3-6 is all about content creation, which is great. We have a lot more chemistry and connection. Right away, Mason wouldn't make videos with me. I found a guy who has my level of whoredom in 3-6. Now, 3-6 might be a content creator, but I don't know if he can match money. But like at the same time, I don't know who Mason Reese is. So therefore, I also don't know who 3-6 is. So they might be at the same level of fame. You know what I mean? Which is almost none, but to a group of people, something.
3-6 is balding worse than I am.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
3-6 isn't doing too well. I think he's called 3-6
because
he might be 36.
Joke? You think if I sent her my World Cup joke, I could get a blowjob?
I think you could just send her a picture and say that you're a producer for media.
Good point.
You don't have to say anything else. Yeah, if you go to his... Okay, he's a music recording engineer. And you can... His Twitter is at fuck36. But yeah, he likes putting out content. And one of their... If you go to their Instagram...
I'm edgy. Fuck me. That's my Twitter handle. Instagram, watch out, guys.
She's riding him on a flamingo float in a kiddie pool. Next to a rusted shed. Dude, it's the most white trash picture. If you go to the Instagram of 3-6, which is 3-6 Live, you will find the third picture, which is that. Oh, they've made a lot of content. Oh, but he's also making it with other women. One called Cherry Cakes. She has a giant butt, Cherry Cakes.
Roxy he fucking stole my bit, this piece of shit. Look at this, Pat.
Oh, he just gets a lot of women that want to be famous to come to his studio and bang him.
Hey, this bit look familiar? Using a blowtorch to light your weed?
But you weren't doing... Look at that rusted shed. He does a lot of... See that pool and that shed? They do a lot of stuff next to that pool and shed.
I hope he gets fucking hepatitis.
But if you go to his Instagram, there's a... This girl doesn't have long. This girl gets to have like 4 pictures with him before he moves on. Because Cherry Cheeks was there for, you know what I mean? Cherry Cheeks did a couple, and then he moved on to her. Before that, there was another girl.
Oh, Cherry Cheeks is going to go ahead and get a follow?
Why are you following Cherry Cheeks?
Why wouldn't I follow Cherry Cheeks?
By the way, she's wild AF. Oh, she's got an OnlyFans, Bobby.
Yeah. I mean...
Go to Cherry Cheeks' OnlyFans. Let's see how she's doing. We're already going down this rabbit hole.
Hi, Daddy. I'm here to satisfy your kink in every fantasy. Daily slutty posts. Boyfriend experience. Completely uncensored. By
the way, go back to the Instagram. Do you see the picture with cherry cheeks and they're at the arcade?
No.
All right, well, if you don't see that, there's one under that where it's not cherry cheeks. It's another one, Miley May. But Miley May is stuck in a dryer and he's grabbing her ass. I don't think our girl Sarah's got a long time for this world with this. This guy runs through bitches and he has a type.
Oh, that's a video, I think. And he's smoking weed out of the dryer using a blowtorch.
You know, the one I'm looking at isn't a video. There's a video later, I think, but the one I'm looking at. Oh, by the way, there's another one where his face is next to a girl's ass, and the caption is, "That's my sister, bro."
I hate this guy.
I love this. This guy's he's doing what he loves. He's got his face in a woman's ass, and it just says, "What of you?" This guy's doing what he loves. He's got a harem in one picture. It says "Holy Bazookas" is the thing. And it gets like 1,900 likes. Who are these people? Who are these people? Who's following the three? How many followers does the 3-6 have?
99.3 thousand.
What the fuck? And I bet you a lot of. I'm gonna look. How many of them are common with me? There'll be a couple.
He has one follower that I follow.
Oh, really? I don't have any.
The naked news chick.
Yeah, I thought we'd have some. I don't have any. I'm kind of happy. Well, I keep it very low on my Instagram and all my social media. But yeah, I don't have any with that person. But what's the other one?
He looks like an accountant who just decided one day, I'm going to spend money to try to look like I'm cool on Instagram.
I want to find. Oh, no, now these weirdos are following me. I don't like this. Anyway, I forget that they'll follow you back. I think because I'm holding a microphone, they're like, this must be something. Like, I'm not something. But Sarah Russi, how many followers does she have? I want to see that. Where is it? I don't think I put it. Oh, there she is. And oh yeah, he only 388,000. I know I say only, but like, doesn't see. And by the way, Gino, Damian Rogers, and 3 others are following her. Big A, Ellis from Philly, and Marshall Beaupre.
Not your boy.
But good for them. They're doing what they love. And now, for a week or so, I'll follow it as well. Why not? Just to see if her and 3-6 make it, I'm rooting for him. I bet you we could get 3-6 on the podcast. I would talk to 3-6. I don't want, if you have your choice of 3-6 or Mason.
Mason.
Really?
I
think Mason would be like when we had Bobo on. And I don't mean in a bad way, but it's a lot of work for us.
Yeah.
I think 3-6 would try. 3-6 would be like a bad version of Mark Random.
Yeah.
And we can handle that energy. Like Mark Random is amazing because he's just so much, but he's also this wonderful guy. It would be like if he was an evil version of that.
It would be like if we had Random on without us not wanting to make fun of Random. Like there wouldn't be that filter. I wouldn't feel bad making fun of this guy. I feel like
I would try for 5 minutes to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I would too. And then we would just ask him 15 or 19.
It would be, and he would just be like, there is no 19.
He'd be like, yeah, you want 15. Fuck yeah.
Why go so high, bro?
We didn't even show him the picture yet. He's like, 15.
About 12,
of course.
About 12 or 15.
I got 4 years to get her ready for me.
Why have you showed my last 4 girlfriends in these pictures? What is this thing? But it's like, oh no, now they're following me back. Oh no.
Who's following you?
People from that group of people.
Not her though.
No, not Sarah. Dasha something, but like she's one of those bot things because you go on there because you like her, so now you get webcam. Fuck, I got that shit now. No, not her. But and it's funny, on Instagram, Smokey gave me a shout out just now as I look at it. She's like, hey, Pat Oates showed me this awesome inspirational meme. And then I'm on here going, yeah, thanks for showing me the darkest lady of all time.
Thanks, Smokey. We trade memes.
There's the person that I would be the Mason Reese to. If I had any fame and Smokey wanted the movie room can and I take care of her, I would let Smokey just live off me forever if I had any money.
You wouldn't talk trash about her either.
Never. No, I mean, not like he maybe at the very end because when she finds 3-6, which is Stancil. So when she starts going, no, this Stancil's better. Then I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll say you weren't the best ever. But that's just because I was heartbroken, I didn't know what to do. But I would be reclaiming my love the entire time. And we'd both be better on Cumia than those two.
Yeah, you both would kill on Cumia.
We'd be great on podcast appearances. And the whole family can move from Canada here and get evicted from my apartment at the same time as me. But yeah, that's just insane. So who's the piece of shit in this story?
Sarah Russi.
Why?
You're the gold digger. You take it. That's constructive criticism. You're not the best he's ever had. Step your game up.
But okay, but
it's Rocky 3. She's gone to Hollywood. She landed the fish, and now she stopped fucking well.
But why is it just her fault? He knows this wasn't just full. When your relationship is on camera all the time, he's also saying these things to strangers for reaction.
Yeah.
And her response really wasn't cunty. It was, dude, you told me I was. Like, it was a hurt thing. He said it. And she's like, why would you say that out loud? Like, listen, we've all been in relationships where, like, has anyone ever, I guess I'm being serious about it. Has anyone really asked you that question? No. Hey, am I the best you ever had?
No.
I have been asked that. And I'm always like, well, I answer too honestly in life, but I'm like, you're the only one I want to be with. They're like, well, that's not answering the question. I go, I've never taken notes and compared. They're all different. They're all different.
Yeah, because you're a connection guy. It's not about the physical thing necessarily for you. It's about, like, everybody's going to bring something different.
Yeah. And in the moment, it's the greatest.
Anybody who's letting it you.
If I look back at my life, I have better memories of people. And that's the thing. I don't have a memory. I don't sit there and think about the sex with people. Do people do that?
I don't know. I don't.
Have you ever gone back in your head and jerked off to old sex?
No. Just brings back the Catholic guilt.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. We both have that. That's where a lot of my vanilla comes from. It's that we don't talk about this or bring this. I mean, what are you doing? Like, nah. Like, I worked very hard on being able to do public displays of affection, which I wanted to do with many people. When I care about someone, I like holding a hand. I like kissing in public. But I was always raised like, yeah, that's wrong. Stay away from that.
Yeah, I like it to a point. You know, I don't want to make.
I don't want to fuck in front of people. When I was in high school, a girlfriend of mine, we had a party at my house. Everybody went away. My whole family went on a cruise, except I wasn't allowed to go because I was missing too many classes in school. So I had to stay home to go to school because if I missed one more day, I was like not going to graduate.
Truancy.
And then my mom, it was just my mom and I in the house because everybody went with my dad and my dad's family. So it was just me there senior year. My girlfriend was a junior. So a couple other people came, all our couples came over and we were drinking. And the girlfriend, I had just started like dating her and we were hooking up and stuff, obviously. But she literally, as we were sitting around playing like a board game or something, like a drinking board game or a card game on the ground, she took a pillow, but she was pretty drunk. And just like kind of put it on my lap, but put her head under it and started to blow me with people there. And I'm like, wait, what are we doing? She's like, shh. I go, you're not hiding. There's a pillow. And she's like, you're no fun. I'm like, I guess not. I don't want you to blow me for these people.
Yeah, no, there is something kind of fun about that, but it's also like,
it made me feel like I was treating her wrong by her doing that. I don't know why, but I had the thought of I'm doing her. If she was sober, maybe my mind would be different. But it's like I should be stopping her because this could embarrass her. It's high school. It's not now.
Yeah.
Different mentality. High school, they could be calling this girl a whore. They could say these things about her. I don't want that. I was more in protection mode. It wasn't like I didn't want
this
it.
This is hot. Yeah. Or, ooh, stop. You're going to be like, it was just like, I don't want you to get talked about.
Right. And me too. I don't want them seeing my cum face.
I did it one time in college. A bunch of us were watching a Doctor Who marathon, and I was on a couch. What?
Who was the doctor at the time?
When we were watching at the time, I think it was Matt Smith, but we were watching the Tenet era.
Okay, I was just trying to see if this is the way we get Eric Nagel to give us a show. Anyway, go ahead.
Not when you hear the rest of this story.
We're gonna cut just this clip and just show a picture of him and his podcast and a picture of Doctor Who and then a picture of us with a heart with his face in it in the Eric Nagel logo. That's going to be the clip that we show.
Is a good option.
It says coming soon to Compound Media, but coming is spelled Cumming. That's the clip. Whatever this time frame is now, Bobby, that's what we're doing.
Fair enough. So we're sitting there.
And then it says he makes us E-Rock hard.
I think if we do that and we clip it, that there's no better way to guarantee us not getting a shot on Compound.
But this clip will make In Hot Water for weeks. So either way, we're on Compound. Anyway, you were in school.
Yeah,
Doctor Who.
I forget.
Doctor Who marathon.
We're past it. No worries. We don't.
No, we're not.
Nah, it lost all of its steam. I'm good.
No, we haven't had steam yet, Bob.
We've been killing it all podcast.
This both go. I think about 5 minutes in, we both in our mind said this is Patreon. So just go. This might be the goal of the week. Which, by the way, if you're watching this and you haven't watched, dude, Andrew Glester is one of my favorite fucking people. Can I say something honestly right now, Bobby?
Sure.
And our friendship is all about honesty. And we are and people don't know this, Bobby and I are both very happy that we are friends. But we are both always worried that we're hurting the other person.
Yeah.
Like, if people go, their age differences and that, why are they similar? We're both always afraid of hurting the other person. And we're both very happy with the other person. He said, my internet is unstable again. I'm going to say a nice thing, and now my internet is fucking unstable. Wonderful. I want to thank you. You bringing on the guests that you've gotten. Yes, I've gotten guests from Connecticut area, and we've all loved Ann and Pete and people like that, and the other ones I've had on. They're all fucking fun and great. I'm not comparing them at all. But I don't believe that you've made the connections with those people like I've made with the Harrisburg wonderful people that you have done that. Glessner, I enjoy immensely. He's somebody that if he messages me, we could just joke and laugh about certain things. Greg Billett is one of the funniest fucking people. And like this morning, he messaged me watching the Glessner fucking podcast. And he just wrote, first thing he messages to me on Instagram and goes, what at the screen? Yes, it's Dwayne Peters. I'm yelling at it. That's shit to Tony Hawk. So he was literally answering us in the podcast while watching it. And then we talked more about Bones Brigade. And then we kind of went into, different kinds of people. And he's like, he talked about something else. He goes, you're losing me on fat women. And I'm like, listen, they shouldn't be moms. He goes, I like the way they wear clothes. And I'm like, it's not about the clothes they're wearing. It's about, midgets shouldn't be in the NBA. It doesn't mean I don't want to watch it. I want to watch midgets play basketball, but they still shouldn't be at the highest level. It's not that you don't want to see a fat girl model stuff. It just shouldn't be the high level of model.
You're not going to be watching for the same reasons.
Right.
Right. Like
a fetish or a kink.
Or I'm
watching little people struggle. He's watching fat people struggle in clothes.
I was going to say, you laugh at them both.
Right. Well, he was talking about when we were all talking about how we can't bang fat people and our bodies are too sensitive. Can't handle all that. But it's just great. Mike O'Donnell, Manny, the conversations I just regularly have with these people I've never met is fucking wonderful. And I appreciate them, but more so, I appreciate you for bringing them into my old sad world.
Well, I'm happy to help you out, buddy.
And I'm hoping the people that watch this podcast enjoy these people because they're fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
They are very fun, and they're funny people too. And there's other ones too. Like I get likes every day from Damian Robinson. Like he is a support. We got to have him back on because he was great too. He's a very supportive guy. Like they're just, there's a couple weirdos in the bunch that we've had, but they're not all winners. But like I'm happy Ray doesn't fucking follow me or talk to me.
Yeah, Ray's a little crazy, but he's the man.
Right. And then there's another one I follow on. Like, I want to have back on the piss Assler guy.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had him.
There's a couple there, but like they're fun. They're fun people, but those four, but it's just nice. It's early morning. I was having a stressful fucking morning. Like I had like a panic attack this morning because something that was supposed to be happening for me didn't And then I was like, what the fuck? I was told this thing's happening. It's going to help me like financially and whatever. And then as I'm talking to the person on the phone, they're like, oh, my bad. I mean, yes. I'm like, huh? And it's just like, the system was wrong, whatever. And they're freaking out. So I'm like, wait, so is it yes or no? They're like, oh, you're good. I'm like, am I good? Or are you just saying this shit? And I'm literally talking to them on my way walking to therapy. So I go to the therapist. She goes, how was your day? I go, it was fucking fine.
Not good.
But even the person on the phone goes, as I'm talking to them, they're like, I'm sorry about that mistake. I go, I'm going to therapy right now. She goes, I might go with you. I'm just as stressed. I'm sorry. She's just yelling. And it was just insanity. But like having that tough morning as I'm walking back from therapy and feel a little better about stuff because the lady just lets me do my thing, whatever. And like, she's like very happy that I can work through my shit. But then everything goes back to this one fucking thing in life that fucking makes me nuts, whatever. Regardless, as I'm walking back, Greg Billett just fucking messages me and goes, yeah, man, Dwayne Peters. He's the piece of shit that yelled at Tony Hawk. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Life is good.
Made me feel good. Okay, I said it was Smokey. It's Smokey or any of those comedians need to live with me and treat me as like the sugar daddy. If I had the money, no sex, but I'd take care of you, baby. Oh, that's what it would be. Do you have any stories or fun things?
I went to this wedding this weekend, which was just terrible. And we could do it as a POS story.
Yes.
But basically, my friend got married last summer. 2 summers ago now, actually. I married him. I got ordained, married him and his wife.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Nice.
And the reason why they did it at that time was it was the height of COVID. They had a couple of old family members each who they weren't sure were going to make it through. And they basically just wanted it for tax purposes as well. Like she needed health insurance and all that stuff. So they did it. They're getting married for real this time around. Suits aren't cheap. The big thing now is it's like $50 more to buy the suit than rent it. It's like I would rather just save the $50 as a team and not have this suit I'm never going to wear again, you know?
It cut out.
Oh, okay. Basically, like, just you have to buy a suit, and then you go to... Yes. It's in the woods. And
in the woods?
Yeah. And it's like, I'm cool with
being... Like in a tent in the woods or just literally in the woods?
Like at a campground in the woods. It's a bed and breakfast that has like 4 little cottages, and they're all on this campsite, and you can walk through the woods.
But the wedding itself was inside, right?
No, it's outside in the woods.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to get at. Because I'm
Taylor
cool
Swift,
with being...
Are we out of the woods? That's what I'd be asking.
It's cool being in nature, and I'm cool dressing up. Don't fucking combine the two. Right? Like, I'm sweating in my apartment with the AC on right now. In a suit that's designed for the winter, outdoors. I was in dehydration.
Yeah, you'd think you'd get something that breathes better.
Yeah, like I hadn't prepared for something like that much since two-a-days in football. Like Gold Bond and creams and everything.
You should have been wearing something like Sarah Russi would wear in a photo shoot.
Exactly. Naked.
No, a thong. Tasteful.
And the suit's so cheap. One guy, like, bent down, completely tore the suit during pictures before even, like, the wedding. And I was hoping that was our out, that we could all just change into shorts, but no. He just stitched it up quick. And then I like these two people a lot. They're two of the most caring people. I became friends with one, like, at a dark period in my life. We got each other through it. But the friends that have accrued since that time period are just the worst type of liberals ever. And by that, I mean super liberal, won't let you have any fun, and you can't smoke weed. You get to be one of those two things. A woke asshole or anti-weed. You don't get to be fucking both.
They don't even make sense together.
I got there, and they were like, hey, we heard you might have some rolling papers. And I was like, I sure do, and held out my 2 packs. And they're like, all right, cool, we'll give you those back after the wedding. There's some kids here. We don't want any weed smoking. And again, this isn't my buddy or his bride-to-be. This is just their friends who have designated...
Now taking themselves on as like camp counselors of this thing.
Yeah. And they say
Who are they to say that?
They say things like, well, I normally don't talk like this, but we all think the same politically. And it's like, I don't think we do.
Even if we do, what does that matter? Just talk.
I have a shirt from one of the compound tours that says MAGA country. Let me throw that on and see if we all think the same. And then we get to the wedding. It's fine. they do the first reading. It's my buddy's mom. She does like the love is patient, love is kind. All right. And then the next reading is from this lesbian. And she's wearing...
No, the lesbian's reading, or the quote was from a lesbian?
A lesbian comes up to read this.
Oh, okay.
Reading.
I thought you were like, someone's like, a letter from the lesbians to the lovers.
No, that's the book of the Bible they don't let in.
A letter from John to the lesbians. Stop scissoring.
You can't all be butches.
You're all Kayne, no Abel. Whatever that means.
And my issue with all of these lesbians at the thing, right, is they're all wearing 90s style pantsuits.
Yeah.
And my issue with that is what, Pat? That's my sense of style. Like, I would rock the hell out of that pantsuit.
Yeah, why can't you wear that at the wedding?
That's for me. And they're like, and lesbian number 2's coming up to read this Neil Gaiman. And I'm like, yes, some Neil Diamond. Hell yeah. I'm getting
you
ready
said this on yesterday's podcast.
No, we talked afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I knew I heard the conversation.
Yeah. I'm giving some more details, but it's like, then she goes up and she reads, it's not Neil Diamond, it's Neil Gaiman. And let me tell you something, Pat. Neil is gay, man. The whole thing is like, here, you know what? I can't.
Pull up some Neil Gaiman. Let's read it.
Yeah, I want to read it, yeah.
By the way, I know it's called 90s pantsuit, but I've always taken it as North Korean power suit. Like, that's what it is. Like, you're the leader of somewhere in North Korea. You are either a lesbian or going to nuke the world.
And if you're curious if the wedding you're at is an LGBTQ woke wedding, when they go Neil Gaiman, that's your clue. So Neil Gaiman, and
who's choosing these speeches?
So I think
usually the wedding party chooses.
I think they let the people choose. Like, I think the groom let his mom pick the reading she wanted to do, and the bride let her lesbian friend pick what she wanted to read. And also, when they brought up the bride's mom, it was just a letter or a reading from 1 Corinthians.
Yeah.
When they brought her up, it was this whole backstory. Neil was once asked to write to his friends about his thoughts on love for their marriage. This was his response. And it's like, what? We don't need a fucking prelude. It's hot. Move on.
What is it, Star Wars? We're doing the early stuff later? Like, what the fuck? Like, we did it.
This is everything I have to tell you about love. Nothing. This is everything I've learned about marriage. Nothing.
Not a thing.
Only that the world out there is complicated, and there are beasts in the night, and delight, and pain, and the only thing that makes it okay sometimes is to reach out a hand in the darkness and find another hand to squeeze, and not to be alone.
You know what's funny? If you did this over Rush music, it would sound like one of their songs.
Yeah, right? It's not
love into the tongues, the meanness and the beast.
It's not the kisses, or never just the kisses. It's what they mean. Somebody's got your back. Somebody knows your worst self and somehow doesn't want to rescue you or send for the army to rescue them.
There's a cackle?
That's what the audience did at that point. Laugh.
Oh,
and it was
I
like,
thought written and it was cackle.
No. The point being, here's what I know about love. Nothing. And then he goes and talks about love the whole fucking rest of the poem.
Not even that. That's not really a wedding speech.
Well, it goes on to be like, it's not two broken halves becoming one. It's the light from a distant lighthouse bringing you both safely home, because home is wherever you are both together. So this is everything I have to tell you about love and marriage. Nothing. Like a book without pages or a forest without trees. Because there are things you cannot know before you experience them. Because no study can prepare you for the joys or trials. Because nobody's love, nobody else's marriage is like yours. And it's a road only can... Just stupid.
It's beyond stupid. Who was quoting this guy? Like, why is he famous?
I don't know. But the fun part comes at the reception when I ran into a bunch of people I went to college with, one of whom I haven't talked to in 10 years and didn't want to. Don't like the guy. There's a reason we haven't talked in 10 years. If I'd known he was coming to the wedding, I might have avoided it. But guess what, Pat?
What?
He had a new kid. And he just wouldn't shut the fuck up about his new kid.
Does he have an old kid?
No.
Oh, this is the first kid that you said.
Yeah.
New kid. Like, did he have others?
Like, it's his first. And eventually.
Yeah, but then again, when you have your first kid, you don't shut the fuck up about it. I get it.
No, I do too. But it got to be the point where, like, Frank and me on the podcast, where you're like, just let somebody else say something, you know? And how did I shut him down? How well do you know me? We'll find out. How did I?
You talked about abortion?
Nope. I asked one simple little question.
Who's the mother?
Nope.
Is it black?
Think about our podcast.
15 or 19?
Have you ever seen the movie Gattaca?
Oh, you talked about the kid's penis.
I gave him the Gattaca question.
Did he tell you about the kid's penis?
He walked away. Which, mission accomplished.
By the way, he walked away to go see if Gattaca was on Netflix. That's what he went to.
Hopefully, yeah.
By the way, you know what they should have read? They should have read this quote. We were both young when I first saw you. I close my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there on a balcony in summer air. You're ready to sing. You know you are. See the lights, see the party, the ball gowns. See you make your way through the crowd and say hello. Little did I know. That's better quote than Neil Gaiman. That you were Romeo and you were throwing pebbles and my daddy said, stay away from Juliet. Now I was crying on the staircase, begging you, please don't go.
It just feels like a T-Swizzle fan wouldn't need to look up the lyrics.
I wanted to make sure I got all the words right.
I'm just busting your balls.
I actually sang that song so many times at work, but like I just looked at it and said there was a couple enunciation things that I thought were different words.
No, I've definitely done that with some of her songs.
There's a lot of wording to it. She's very good at she takes a lot of poetic license in what rhymes are, which is fine and fair because it works. But there is a lot of cramming of words in like contracting things that shouldn't be contracted, which is part of the whole fucking thing.
It's also kind of central Pennsylvania. That's her showing her roots. My best story with her is in college, I was dating a girl and I had to quit drinking. To quote one of my favorite comedians, Kyle Kinane, Whiskey Icarus flew a little too close to the sun.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, but it was malt liquor every day for lunch. And you can't just drink 240s a day because then you don't function. And so she was like, quit drinking or I'm leaving you. And I was like, all right, I'll quit drinking. And I got really high one night because that's not drinking, right, Pat?
No.
And she called me and was like, we were talking before bed and was like, we don't have a song. And I kept saying, our song is the knock of screen doors, staying out late. And then I would giggle too hard because I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
And then she was finally like, are you fucking high? I was like, yeah. And she was like, all right, well, at least you're not drinking. And
I would have
called
said
enabling.
Yes, I just would have said, and you can tell everybody this is our song. Might be quite simple, but now that it's on. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind that I wrote down in words that I am gay and I'm Elton John and I want to dress up like a Muppet. Good night, everybody.
If I had known things were going to end that way, I would have used Real Big Fish. I wrote this song about you just to let you know
I got to see the live
your
ones.
guts, and I think you suck. When
Real Big Fish came to my college. They were with there was a local ska band called Spring Heel Jack that would open up, and they were from the area. And one of their band members went to Southern, so they came, and Real Big Fish was in the area and showed up because it was supposed to be Spring Heel Jack and Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, and they didn't have security, so they asked the rugby team to be security.
That's
and
it.
My buddy Pete went up and just started like he was drunk and he's just dancing around the whole time. And they're all, and you see the band members looking around. One guy goes, "Is he with us?" Because Boss Tones had a dancing guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Is he a new dancing guy?" And they're like, "No, no one knows this guy." You can see them, and they're looking at us like, "You move him." And Pete goes, "No one's fucking moving me. I'm doing it." He's just tripping out, drunk, just dancing, and he was just up there doing that. And if anyone came by, he like knocked them out. It was insane.
We in college, I may have told this one. We went to see him a lot. My roommate was a huge fan. And we went to Scranton and then found out that same tour was coming to State College. Nice. So we tweeted at one of the opening acts, The Beautiful Bodies. And we were like, so excited to see you. Can't wait to see you tonight. And they liked it. And we're like, all right, we'll be there. And then we tweeted. We were like, front row for The Beautiful Bodies. Can't wait. And so the lead singer came out, Alicia. And she's great. She's a model now and like a pop singer. But she came out and she's like, "Where's Bobby and Dave?" And then
cool.
like we were right up front. But it gets better because then she was singing one of her songs, and as you would with your two big fans sitting up front, she gave me the mic.
Oh no!
And Dave, God love him, grabbed the mic, knew the song, and finished the lyrics because he had bought the CD and had it memorized the week
Thank
before.
God, because you didn't have a word.
I didn't know a word of it. But yeah, they were really cool. We wanted to make signs for Five Iron Frenzy because they sucked. Shut up, sax bitch, was what my sign was gonna say. Because she was the one who would make like the dad jokes in between songs.
Yeah. We had afterwards. We invited all the bands to come to our rugby house to party. And only Spring Heel Jack came in and like one of the horn players from fucking Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. So they're all like drinking whatever. And then the guy, one of the lead singer of Spring Heel Jack's like, "Do you want us to like sing anything here?" I go, "Well, I don't know 12 guys who can play the horns. So can you fucking do anything without that?" And he laughed. He goes, "You're an asshole." But that's hilarious. I definitely do need 12 guys to play the.
That's awesome.
It's like nobody wants to hear acoustic Jack. Okay, just fucking drink.
No, just the self-aware dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, like you're not a good singer. If you were, you wouldn't need Count Basie back there.
Yeah, exactly. It's also not just like a pick up a guitar and strum along at a party music.
Not at all. And we just heard it. I just want to chill. I'm trying to bang that lady over there.
Yeah, let me hear some
by
B-sides.
telling her I'm the reason you're here. You've done your purpose.
Yeah, you're
you
good,
got
buddy.
women that wouldn't normally come here to come to my lair.
Exactly. I'm gonna bang
let me
me
use
a
the lair.
bitch.
Let me layer it up. Let me be Lair Jordan, okay? Let me do this. I think we did it, Bobby. For a put together show last second, we just did. By the way, we are getting to the point where we can't do less than 2 hours.
No, it's getting rough. Not rough, but long.
No, but it works. I mean, people are complaining. It's just
no, absolutely, long. Yeah. And I think it allows us to like give some more details, which is fun too.
Well, I mean, I think some people are probably like, did we need an hour and 10 minutes on Mason and Sarah's love? Did we need to go down 3-6? Sometimes you got to go down 3-6.
We had to go down 3-6.
By the way, since we've been on this thing, 4 cam bots are now following on Instagram.
Nice.
So
that's how we're getting followers.
All right. So everybody who's living in anywhere in like upper state New York, wherever that area is, please come on out to Saratoga Springs. Come see us at the Hideout at the golf course there. Travis Steele. You can call the club or find Travis Steele on Facebook. Get the website information there. Get tickets. Bobby's going to be there. I'm going to be there. It's going to be fun for us to perform. We're still figuring. Hey, if somebody wants to come with us for the experience and wants to drive me and Bobby.
No, I'm going to scoop you on the way. Don't even worry about it.
No, you are, but that'd be better if we could just get someone and we sit in the back like it's an Uber, but just a fan.
We could podcast it.
It could be fun. But we'll just go back and forth. Worst case, we'll figure it all fucking out. But I'm looking forward to it, my friend. It's going to be
a
fun.
Blast. I am too.
We're going to be chatting like crazy. It's going to be a good time. That's the one thing. We have no issue chatting.
No.
Maybe it'll be weird that there's not a screen in between. We're like, wait, I don't know how to do this as humans.
I'm going to be weird making eye contact with you the whole time.
I may smoke weed on the ride up.
Ooh. That's
and then
like
I think we should podcast then.
I'm down. I got a Zoom recorder.
Because that might be the only time where I'm like, that long of a ride, nothing can happen to me.
No, you'll be fine.
It's not like anyone's ever going to hire me again.
Not after these episodes.
Oh, and that'll be fresh off me being on Compound, and I'm going to promote this on. That's the one I'm going to promote when they ask what. But no, let's promote that show.
That's awesome. And the Patreon.
Yes, obviously, promote us.
Yeah.
But you do that all the time anyway.
I have been. Yeah.
I know. I've been watching. It's wonderful what you do. You don't say POS, you say Pat Oates Show, which I appreciate.
Keep forgetting,
that's not what it's called. But you're also trying to make sure you say my name, and I appreciate that. You're keeping my name living in that place.
Absolutely. And it was Painkiller Wednesday.
Right. And I'm also sure that most of them, Steve and all of them, are like, yeah, we get it. You like Pat. Now stop talking about it.
Most of them at that point are like, the dump would be better without Bobby anyway, so I'll plug what I want to. Good
to be gone when we have our own thing and we run the world. That's fine. Listen, you're dumb to not hire this. If any media network needs us, if we've proven one thing, if you need a time filler, if you want draws, you're looking at the wrong thing. You're too expensive to get a draw. Time filling. is what you need. Remember back in the day when somebody could just like John Davidson, that's a back stretch, but like if all of you watch, John Davidson was a guy that you needed a Hollywood Squares host, when you needed a win, lose, or draw host, when you needed someone to be on the Love Boat, when you just need a body to show up somewhere. John Davidson showed up and just filled that fucking time. And that's what it was. And we are time fillers. You need a 2-hour show with no game plan that looks like they had a game plan. We are your fucking guys. Like, we really, I know people always say, like, oh, like for example, when you was watching your show and Steve was talking about seeing Dave Temple, and I love Dave, and he's like, Dave's the kind of guy you can talk to about anything. So are Pat and Bobby, baby. There isn't anything we can't talk about. Most of this shit we have no knowledge of. By the end, we have broken it down like we're fucking experts, baby. Yeah. That's what we do. If you need this, you need to hire us. And if you're watching this now, tell your friends. Listen, is it the best? No. But don't the best things that you find in life leave you? We won't leave you. We are Mason Reese. Yes, like a couple years from now, we will sometimes tell you aren't the best we ever had, but we still love you. We still do. Bobby, you got anything to plug?
No, I hit them all yesterday. Cool. Other than our show.
Because then because yesterday we didn't do it. Silk City Hot Sauce, baby. We did not do it, but that's because we were having so much fun we forgot. But sometimes when you have no fun, you think about sponsors. Not alcoholic sponsors. I don't know what those are, but you think about Silk City Hot Sauce. Like today, when I was at this comedy show that I was co-hosting, and all these people that were taking comedy class and 5 weeks ago never even saw a stage, and now we're in front of 45, 50 people and shouldn't have been there. They didn't deserve it, and they were terrible, but they were getting laughs because this crowd was like a whore. This crowd was kind of like Sarah Russi, where they were just like, I'm going to make you laugh and I'll pretend like I'm wet, but I'm really not enjoying this, but maybe this will make me better for me. When I was sitting through all that, I literally was so bored as I was going on stage to bring up the next shithead. My thought was, I haven't used badass Jew in anything in a while. Like literally that was the thought. And I'm like, I think tomorrow I'll make a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, and I want to mix it in with the eggs to get the flavor, because I like that with the smoky of the bacon and the heat and the egg scrambled in. And that's what I thought about as I went up. So it's the kind of sauce that stays on your mind. Kind of like James Taylor earlier, he had things on his mind.
Fire and rain.
He did. Carolina was on his mind a lot. In his mind, he was going to Carolina.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
although I guess technically that would mean everything but Carolina was on his mind a lot. If he was
but
always
Carolina sounds like a internet website that's just a creep looking at girls' butts in Carolina, just like Butt Carolina. Or Butte, Carolina, I guess how they would say it down there. But either way, if you love making your food better, if you like being better, you're having people over in the summertime, and everyone can have ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, relish, boring shit. They put it out on the outdoor table next to the barbecue stuff when you're making your plate. But imagine having some cool-ass bottles with awesome art on it that starts a conversation so you don't have to. You're like, I don't want to talk to Aunt Irma. That is a bitch of a woman. I hate her. What if a guy shows up and he has his first child and then he wants to talk to you about it? As Bobby has said, that's the worst. Or a lesbian wants to read you a poem. Also the worst. If you have awesome artwork and incredible sauce inside that artwork, they won't talk to you. They will talk to each other about that artwork. You know what I mean? And they'll have one called Neil came in my mouth. Like that will be like the name of the new sauce, because that sauce will come before our show sauce for some reason. Every sauce will come. But a Levy would have to break. Oh wait, it did before we get a sauce. But that was me. Bob Levy has a new sauce. But anyway, what I'm saying is, go to the website SoakCityHotSauce.com. Buy some sauces, be the talk of the party, be the best of the show, all that, and use the promo code POS to save you 15%, so you're a baller on a budget as well.
Silk City Hot Sauce. It's the best thing you can buy for your wiener. Like
Wilford Brimley once said, Silk City Hot Sauce, right thing to do and the tasty way to do it. That's what he was saying. And go to our show. As always, subscribe to the podcast. Patreon, POS podcast. Get on there. Every month we lose at least 2 people, then gain 2 more. It's a balance. Let's beat that balance. Yeah, but let's like a menstrual cycle where it's just tough for some months, but we're fine. Get on there, enjoy so much content. That's what you'll be seeing this for the most part. But either way, Bobby.
And if you can't join them, beat them, and don't be a piece of shit.
Sarah Russi, call me. All right.